Whoa, I almost dropped the phone. Hi there, my friends, my planter friends. I'm getting ready to plant tomato seeds today. And something that I learned on YouTube from Roots and Refuge Farm is that you can plant the same variety of seed in individual containers, and when they grow enough to show their second set of true leaves, you can split them off and then put them in solo cups. So that's what I'm going to do. And since I pride myself on reducing, reusing, and recycling and repurposing, I will show you what I have gathered for the past couple months. I have saved all of these containers. I hope you can see them. This is obviously a lettuce container with the lid. It's solid in the bottom, but I'll poke holes. This had cake in it. I'm going to clean this up. This had a piece of cake. I'm going to poke holes in there, and it will sit on the tray. And I'm also a sucker for rotisserie chicken. Since I'm not in a zone where I can farm my own chickens and eat my own chickens, I have to buy them. So I have plenty of these containers, and these already have like the vented holes in them, and then the tray obviously has no holes in it, so I can put seeds in there. More chicken. This is just, I think lunch meat was in this one. This has been washed through the dishwasher, and then I have like a strawberry container with holes in the bottom. I'll use that. Same thing here, a random lid. This is a cottage cheese lid with a little, I think a baked potato came in there. So these have all been cleaned, and I'll poke holes in the bottom of this one. So these will all be used for different varieties of tomatoes seeds. And once they grow 2 or 3 inches tall and show their first signs of true leaves, then I'll be able to split them apart and put them in red solo cups. So that's my project for today, since we're having some beautiful weather. It's like 50 degrees out, 55 degrees and sunny. So that's what I plan to do today. And now I'm gonna get ready to mix my soil, starter soil for these, and I will share with you how I make that. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm mixing my soil amendment for those tomato pots so I can grow some seeds. And again, I just use what I've read online as well as seen in videos. Equal parts peat. I have a huge bag of peat moss here. I don't know what brand it is. I don't really care. I just look for the cheapest one. So I got this bag of peat. I got vermiculite, and then I also have perlite. So in this container here, I'm going to mix up equal parts, and then I'm going to fill those tomato buckets that are out in the yard there. I'm going to mix those up and then start putting seeds in there. And one thing I need to remember is to label them, because I will forget. And then that way, then I'll put them on my grow tray, light with all the lights, and wait for 8 to 10 days for when they pop up. And then when they pop up and I transfer them into solo cups, I'll make sure I make another video for that. But let me mix up this soil mix, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done with that. So I'm back. Had a little fight with my tripod trying to get it up there for you. But I've mixed the perlite, which is this white fluffy stuff, the vermiculite. I don't even know what this is, but it's extremely light. It's brown. Don't even know what it is. They just said use it, so I use it. I think I've made this very clear. I am not a professional. I just have used these techniques in the past, and they work. And so I wanted to share them with you because they work for me, so they might work for you. So I got all of this in here. I'm just going to mix it up, break up the big bits. And once I put this in those containers for the tomatoes, Once I put them in there, I'm going to put them on the ground, and then I'm going to do a quick rinse over with the hose so that they can, the soil gets wet. Because you don't want to put your seedlings in totally dry soil, because then once you end up watering them, the seeds will displace and then they'll be all over the place instead of the places that you actually planted them. So I wanted to make sure I mix this up really good. Break up the little bits. And then I'm going to put them, all this dirt, this, I think they call it a grow medium or median. Again, I don't know the real word. And then I'm going to put it in those tomato buckets and then do a quick rinse over that. So once I get to that point, I'll come back to say hi to you and show you more. Okay, back to the video. So now I have filled all the tomato seed start trays with the soil that I just made. Hope you can see it. Filled all these up with equal parts peat, vermiculite, and perlite in all of these. I poked holes in all the bottoms of those, and then I'm gonna use the hose to wet them down to soak the soil before I put the seeds in. And that is what I'm going to do right now, and then I will come right back. Give it a nice good drink. All the extra water is going to soak through the bottom, so I'm glad I have it out on the grass here. The reason that I've learned to do this is because if I had tomato seeds in there right now and I was watering like this, those tomato seeds would go wherever they felt they wanted. So since I'm giving it a nice drink myself, the soil won't move around as much. And then when I plant the seeds, I can sprinkle a little bit of dirt over the top and protect the seeds and then spray it with a spray bottle. So that's what I plan to do. Again, I am not a professional, but I did learn that from YouTube and reading about gardening online. And this is my classroom. You learn as you go. If you screw something up, you try again. Okay, now that I gave it a nice good soak, you can see all that perlite and vermiculite floating to the top. That's okay. Sometimes it's irritating because the seeds look just like that stuff. But I gave everything a nice drink. So now I'm going to go ahead and put them on a tray and bring out the seeds and start planting them. Alrighty, I'm back. I went inside after I watered down all my pots and I grabbed my tomato seeds, and I wanted to show you some of the varieties that I will decide to grow right now. I got these from seed exchanges, and then some I purchased at the store at Home Depot, and then some of them I purchased online. This is my first year buying from Haas, and my first year buying from Baker Creek. These are from seed exchanges. The gentleman that owns the thrift store down the street, John, I have befriended him because he sees me in there all the time grabbing garden stuff. So he ended up getting some seeds for me that have been in his family for years from Italy. These seeds are from Italy, from a plant in Italy over 15 years ago. So we have no idea if they're going to grow, but we're definitely going to try. I do know that there's a couple, like this one is a bush steak hybrid. So I'm going to make sure to separate out the ones that have the word bush in them, because those are the ones that grow short and stocky and produce all the fruit at one time. They bloom, they ripen, and then that plant is done. So these are a little bit different. They don't bloom and produce fruit through the whole entire year, only at one time. So I'm going to keep those separate when I end up putting them in the ground or in some containers. I do have a couple different varieties of Roma tomatoes. I have large cherry tomatoes. These tomato seeds that I got last year, I think from Home Depot, I think. These are sweeties, and they're about that big cherry tomato. And then these super sweets, they're a little bit smaller, and they grow on a long vine like this. They're beautiful. They're so beautiful when they grow. And these two plants were prolific last year. These I could not keep up with picking. I picked pounds and pounds of these off of like 6 total plants on both of these. And last year I did no pruning at all. Didn't even know what pruning was. So this year I will prune and stake them up a little bit better so I can get in between the plants, because that was really hard for me to do last year. But these were from a seed exchange. They look so pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It's called a tomato, a Berkeley tie-dye pink. It's got like green and red lines all over it. This one is the Kellogg's Breakfast. This is a tomato that never really gets red. It just stays kind of orange or yellow, whatever color that is to everybody. Cherokee Purple. I think that these tomatoes are beautiful. I don't eat tomatoes. Yes, I'm growing tomatoes, but I choose not to eat them. I don't like them. There's a texture thing for me. I made some bruschetta last night, and I was able to do that, but I scooped out all the seeds and just